focus on making folks feel comfortable. And up next, it's a blast from the past for some of you. Meet a man with a serious collection of Transformers.
To each his own. Everybody has their own thing, and mine just happens to be small pieces of plastic.
You're watching Carolina Camera. Welcome back to this WBTV On Your Side special presentation, Carolina Camera. We're here at the Extreme Ice Center in Indian Trail, North Carolina, where, as you can see behind us here, open skating has begun and the kids are having lots of fun out here.
They really are. You know, you can go ice skating here year-round, not just during the wintertime, but it feels like wintertime here year-round, because here where the ice rink is, they keep the temperature in here around 51 degrees.
Yeah.
Now, out in the lobby and where the snack center is, it's a lot warmer. You'll always be comfortable. But if you come here to go skating, you probably ought to bring a jacket with you.
Good advice.
All right, on to our next story now, and I love this story.
Yeah, it's a good
about
one.
Collecting. And this fella has put a lot of energy, a lot of effort, and a lot of time into this collection. You have to see it to believe it. So we take you now to Rock Hill, South Carolina for a man and his special collection of Transformers.
This is Flywheels, the Transformer. And this is Flywheels, the Transformer Collector.
I chose that one because it was kind of an obscure character. Actually, on the way back from Myrtle Beach, probably 86, 87, I was supposed to be sleeping in the back of the van, and I heard some bags rolling around, so I stuck my head up underneath the seat, and there was a KB bag, and that toy was actually in the bag. So that's kind of one of the reasons I chose that character to go as my alias.
Flywheels has been collecting Transformers since he was a kid. He was 7 when the toys debuted on store shelves in 1984.
Like most kids, I was totally fascinated by the robots and the transformation and having basically 2 toys in one.
When he got a little older, Flywheels stopped collecting Transformers for a while, but
towards the junior, senior year in high school, there was a series of toys on the shelves again. It was called Generation 2. Fans dubbed the original toys Generation 1. And they were being clearanced out, service merchandise, if you remember that, in Charlotte, over off Woodlawn Road. That's where I picked up a few. And that's immediately, that kind of rekindled my interest.
Flywheels says he's lost track of how many figures he has, but he'd estimate more than 1,000.
Everything on the bottom 3 shelves here, this is all the original stuff from the 80s.
The shelves he has set up are packed with figures, all lined up several deep.
And then on the next shelf here, this is pretty much all the current stuff that you can currently find at retail in some way, shape, or form. These are the original characters, just modernized and updated.
He has figures from all across the country and the world.
Predominantly everything in this case is vintage stuff from Japan. These are kind of the centerpieces of my collection. These are not the easiest toys to come by. Probably one of my favorites of all these is down on this shelf here. You see these dinosaurs here. Those are actually hollow shells, and the small little figure in the back with the blue head, he disassembles into separate pieces, into smaller Transformers, and they can hide inside the shells.
In this massive collection, Flywheels does have a few other favorites.
This one here, his name is Bone Crusher. He is a Constructicon. He turns into a bulldozer. This is actually a toy from my childhood. Is one of the few that I still have, and his joints are kind of floppy just because I played with them as a kid. But this is another really popular one. His name is Grimlock, one of the Dinobots. He turns into a Tyrannosaurus Rex. This is another favorite one of mine from early on. His name is Grapple, and he turns into a construction crane. And now you've got a crane.
After seeing this collection, 2 major questions come up in my mind. First, what drives Flywheels to spend so much time, effort, and energy collecting?
For me, it's all about trying to stay a kid. Most people would say that their childhood was probably one of the best times of their lives. You don't have the stress of work and bills and all the stuff that you do as an adult or a parent. And so for me, I think a lot of it was trying to recapture my childhood and just relive the memories, that I had growing up.
All right, question answered. Next question. Why does he think Transformers have such an appeal that the brand has lasted since the 80s? What is it about Transformers?
From a toy aspect, I think it's the fact that you're getting two toys in one. But I think the overall appeal that has really helped carry the line and given it the longevity that it has had is characters. It's the fact that they all have distinct personalities. And I think in some cases, people kind of gravitate towards certain characters because they can identify with them. I know that may sound kind of, weird, because it's all fiction. But that's, I think, one of the appeal for a lot of people is just that there's such a rich history and and the personalities behind all the different characters.
And Flywheels says the premise has remained the same all these years.
You've got Optimus Prime leading the heroic Autobots, and you've got Megatron leading the evil Decepticons. It's always, comes down to a good versus evil, kind of storyline.
As for the story of Flywheels' collection, he says there are still a few pieces he'd like to have, but he's overall pretty satisfied with what his hobby's accumulated over the years.
To each his own. Everybody has their own thing, and mine just happens to be small pieces of plastic.
And much like he's lost track of how many figures he has, Flywheels says he doesn't know how much time he's spent on his collection throughout the years, and frankly, he doesn't want to know.
I don't log the time because I probably would hate myself if I did see how much time that I have spent on it. But it's a labor of love.
Wow, what a collection.
Unbelievable.
Okay, you ready for this?
What?
I am Optimus Prime. Is that right? I don't know.
You've been waiting to do that, haven't you?
I've been waiting to do that.